Welcome into episode 18 of Reimer on the Road. I am Scott, that is Ann. We are excited to have you continuing along on this year-long journey with us as we travel this wonderful, amazing country. We are currently in Theodore Roosevelt National Park, and we can't wait to share all that information with you in episode 19. But we're also excited to share episode 18, Voyageurs National Park. But before we get to all of that, we always let you know where we're headed so you can give us some great feedback. So, Ann, this is going to be a mouthful. Where are we headed?
I actually had to make notes because it was so much. So we are heading to South Dakota, Hermosa, South Dakota, which is home or around there, the Badlands National Park, Wind Cave National Park, Mount Rushmore National Monument.
Yes.
Memorial.
Something like that.
Memorial, yep. And then Jewel Cave National Monument, and then Custer State Park. And there's some other things too. Those were just sort of the things that are right there at us.
As I said, she had to have a bunch of notes for this. It's a mouthful of where we're headed, and we look forward to getting your feedback on that. Which, speaking of feedback, we are here in Medora, North Dakota, where Theodore Roosevelt National Park is, but we always are on the lookout for other rigs, and you found another Alliance rig, and that led to a couple from whom we met, right?
Yes, we went over to it when I was out for a walk, and as I was walking up, I noticed that not only do they have the Alliance Avenue 32 RLS,
just like
us,
Aly, yeah.
But they're from South Carolina.
Small world. Very small world. Not only from South Carolina, from the upstate of South Carolina. He is a former Clemson professor, Tommy and Molly.
Yes.
And you talked with them for an extended period of time, and then they came over and joined us the next evening here at our rig, and we had a lot of great conversations. So Tommy and Molly, you promised that you would give us some feedback on our future journeys, because let me tell you, these two are world travelers.
They are.
I don't know if they're world travelers, they're United States travelers.
They are United States travelers. They've been to a lot of places. They had a lot of good insight, a lot of information.
Yeah. So I'm sure Tommy and Molly will chime in, but I hope you do too. But that you can do that by Reimer on the Road Instagram.
Yep. That's right.
You can go to reimerontheroad@gmail.com, and of course you can comment right here in the YouTube comments of the video. Make sure you subscribe and like and all that stuff, so you continue to follow us around on this year-long journey. Voyageurs National Park. It was a struggle to get there. We got there, and we enjoyed it, and we've now gotten here. But that's another whole story, and that is episode 18, Voyageurs National Park.
Alright, we are heading out today. We are driving over the Mackinac Bridge. Scott's doing a great job. Trucks are supposed to go 20 miles per hour, so we're just sort of staying with the trucks. No need to go fast. And for sure not past that truck. We're a wide load.
The trip from Mackinac City area to Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota was just too far for us to drive in one day, so we decided to boondock halfway there in a town called Saxon, Wisconsin, at the Frontier Bar and Campground. This was a very unique setup that we liked, quite frankly, as it was a full hookup RV spot. It offered affordable diesel right there at the check-in area, and it had a restaurant and bar that we ate in, and the food was great. After a restful night in Wisconsin, it was an early start to head on up to Voyageurs National Park. The storm clouds and heavy rain should have been a foreboding for us to let us know something wasn't going to go right with this trip.
All right, we ran into a little snafu. Kind of really strange. We just pulled into the rest area. Scott got out and we started hearing this loud noise.
Yeah.
And it ended up being the plug to our tire was leaking. Like literally out of here. And then the tire monitor inside the truck started going crazy because it gets to low. But I mean, we're in a good spot. It's just weird that it just popped out on its own. So Scott's going to attempt to give us some more tire pressure. Yep. And we'll report back.
Yep.
All right, now we're down to a fully deflated tire.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but we'll dispatch a truck out to you.
Okay.
And once we do dispatch a truck, we can always follow up with their estimated time of arrival in a text or a voice call. Which would you prefer?
Text is fine. Okay, great. Thank you for the update.
Absolutely. Are you in a safe location right now? Are you at the rest stop?
We are at the rest stop, so we're at a safe location.
All right, so we are in a predicament and not moving fast, or actually not moving at all. Been here now, how long? What are we at now?
About 12:15.
12:15. So that's
about 3:25 now.
So almost 3 hours. We're at a rest area. So the good news is, the blessed news is that our incident happened actually after we pulled in to the rest area. We weren't driving. In fact, we'd come to a complete stop. And there's a look at the rest area here in Minnesota, Anchor Lake Rest Area. It's lit up and all that good stuff in case we're stuck here overnight, and hopefully we're not. But as I said, we pulled in, stopped. I was getting Leo out of the car and just heard a massive burst of air coming actually from this tire back here, and the valve just failed. As you see the TPSM on it right now, but this valve failed and air's just coming out and deflating. And so I was trying to work with that and it went all the way flat. And so as I was trying to work with that, I didn't think to raise with the levelers the rig up to take the pressure off of this tire. And so as I was working on this one, trying to get it fixed, which I was unsuccessful in doing, this tire ended up doing the same thing. This valve stem failed and air's coming out. So now both tires have valve stem issues. I think that's what it is. Hope that's what it is. And with one tire being bad, we could just put the spare on, which is a regular size endurance tire. But we have two tires that are bad. So we're stuck, and it's a Saturday, and we're in the middle of Minnesota that there's not a lot really close to us. So we're sitting. We're hoping we get out of here. If we're lucky on one thing, it is that worst of the worst case, we could stay here overnight.
Right.
We're not on the side of the road.
Not ideal, but that's what I'm thankful for. That this happened after we parked, not while we were driving. We were already safe. We're right next to an outlet.
Yep.
We're getting some power.
From the good people of Minnesota.
We've got a rest area so we can go inside and use their bathroom while it's open. And we've got plenty of water here.
We're lucky. The unlucky part is it's a Saturday and we're just struggling to get some help. And hopefully we can get some in time to get out of here. So we may be here. We may be somewhere between here and where we want to be, or if we catch a break, we'll get all the way to where we're going to be. So we'll update you when we can. Okay, a little update from yesterday. you know, this is traveling. You know, this is what it is sometimes. But we thought we had a few remedies to get us fixed and up and running yesterday, which was a Saturday. But because it was a Saturday, it was very difficult getting people here to us. We're very remote here in Minnesota right now. And long story short, we spent the night inside alley here at the rest area. It was fine. You know, it was a couple of trucks came in, at least one truck came in at one point during the night. And we started out today trying to get on the offensive a little bit instead of being on the defensive. We do think we have somebody coming here. Should be here any minute now. We've had a couple of people help us. A trucker tried to help us. Another RVer tried to help us. Very nice people. But the valve stems just need to be repaired before we can go anywhere. And hopefully we've got a solution coming on that. And went into Virginia, Minnesota to pick up a appropriate lug wrench, because the one we had was pitiful that came with the rig. So that's no good. So we got the right lug wrench now, to where in the future we can maybe help get a tire off and get a spare on, etc. Okay, it is 11:25, which means it's been about 23 hours since we've been here at the rest area. We had service come out. They've replaced all 4 of our stems on all 4 of the trailer tires. And so we're going to proceed on, knock on wood. We're gonna be a little cautious at first, just to get the feel of things and make sure everything looks fine. But hopefully we're going to be able to reach our destination a day late. But again, if we can make it safe, that's all that matters. And that's the goal. That's the goal each and every time.
I long for that chill in lo-fi streets and drift away.
Have to go inside for this one.
Right here?
Right here at Voyageurs. Do you need to do a practice?
Nope.
No practice. Just gonna stamp it.
If it's upside down, it's upside down. It's upside down.
It's because you didn't practice.
All right.
It's okay. We were here. Voyageurs National Park. Voyageurs is really not known as a hiking national park. There are a few hikes, but most of the attraction of the park is on the water. With Leo, we did the very short Blind Ash Bay Trail hike. It's a very short hike that allowed us to get to an overlook of the Capitacoma Lake. If you're really into hiking, the Cab Ash Trail connects the Capitacoma area and the Ash River communities through an extensive system of 27 miles of interconnected backcountry forests and wetlands. Well, they say that if you're going to do Voyageurs, you got to do it on a boat, right?
That's what they say.
Then that's what we're going to do. We rented a spot for a 6-hour tour of Voyageurs National Park from the water that was run by one of our campground owners. Boating is really the best way to see Voyageurs. All right, the Ellsworth Rock Garden here in Voyageurs National Park. A really cool stop along the way. Mr. Ellsworth, this was his hobby. He just enjoyed rock sculptures, and he stayed up here in the summer. He's a carpenter, came up here in the summer, and this was his home, and he made all these sculptures. And when Voyageurs became a national park, they helped maintain this and keep it in the vision that he had. So kind of a unique, quirky little place, but a great stop here on our lake tour of Voyageurs.
And so the national park has come in and kept it up. And so it's really neat, unique for sure. Worth a stop if you're in the area, which you have to get here by boat. So
we came on a tour, but I think the National Park Service has a tour as well that you can come, right?
They do, yes. Book early.
What I found a little curious, because he was here with just his wife, right?
Yes.
And she, probably didn't help much.
No, it didn't sound like she did much of anything.
So I'm a little fascinated how he got some of the rocks up there. And I don't know if he had help or people helped him, but some of those are quite heavy.
Big, yeah. I'm sure he used some kind of mechanism to drag them up there, or maybe he did have some help.
Yep.
Yeah.
Neat, very unique.
Cool.
Very unique.
Very unique.
Okay. Well, let's not miss our boat, because it's a long way to swim back. And that water's probably cold.
Yeah, I'm not swimming.
Kettle Falls may be the highlight of Voyageurs National Park in terms of scenery. The Kettle Falls Hotel is a historic remote hotel located within Voyageurs National Park. It opened in 1913 and is known for its wilderness setting, unique atmosphere, and being accessible only by boat or float plane during the summer. The hotel's bar is famously known as the Tilton Hilton due to its distinctively slanted floor caused by the settling of the building's foundation. The hotel itself is on the National Register of Historic Places, and it was built to accommodate lumberjacks, traders, and fishermen. Next stop was the I.W. Stevens Resort. I.W. Stevens was a Norwegian immigrant who, in 1932, sought solitude on a 400-acre island within what is now Voyageurs National Park. The Pine Cove Resort, as it is called, was built by Stevens and operated as a resort from 1937 until his retirement in the 1970s. Afterward, he continued to live on the island alone for another 2 decades, embracing a deep connection to the wilderness. Hoist Bay is a historic and scenic site on Namakan Lake, located inside of Voyageurs National Park and our next stop on the boat tour. Once a hub for the early 20th century logging industry, it is now accessible only by boat and offers a glimpse into the region's past. From 1913 until 1929, Hoist Bay was the site of Logging Camp 75, operated by the Virginia and Rainy Lake Lumber Companies. The hoist in the name refers to the machine that lifted felled logs out of the water and loaded them onto train cars for transport to a sawmill. The bay was quiet for a decade after the logging operation closed, and in 1939, Ted and Fern Monson bought the land and opened a resort that hosted guests for 35 years. You know you're in Minnesota when we're camping. All these people are camping. Very traditional, right? And we're beside a guy who is in an extreme hybrid RV that also serves as a fish house. So they take these on the lake, sits flat on the ice, and they fish in the winter. Very unique trailer and very cool idea. Okay, so there you go. It was a unique trip for two reasons. Number one, the struggle to get there. We documented that very well in the video and how we overcame that. And that's just part of traveling. I mean, we're just going to have to learn to live with those types of things. But my first question to you is related to Voyageurs. It is a long way from anywhere, which is part of its charm, I will say. But it is certainly a national park that is geared around water. And you're not going to get a whole lot of hikes. You're not going to get a lot of scenic vistas. You want to be a boater, a fisherman, maybe a snowmobile. In the winter, a snowmobile.
Ice fisher,
But it's unique in that it's not going to be a park that has a lot of different things to do, especially if you're not going to get on the water. But even if you get on the water, if you're not a fisherman and you're not doing some of that kind of stuff, it's a limited national park.
Yes and no. I mean, it's definitely unique, and but they had some remote campsites that I actually thought was pretty cool. That you rent your boat and you go out. You can rent houseboats.
Yep.
And you go what do you call it when you just drop anchor?
Yes.
You just hang out. But they had a lot of remote on the different islands that were there that you could take a boat to, and then you have your private island, basically. The water, you got to get out on the water. You got to take the boat tours like we did. That's the best way to see it. Lots of birding.
So if you really want to get away from everything, Voyageurs National Park is a must-do. I will also say, we got up one night. You got up one night.
I got up one night.
And that ended up being, to me, one of the highlights of the whole tour.
It was. Leo woke me up. He needed to go to the bathroom. And so I put my shoes on, start walking outside. And as I'm coming down the steps, I kind of look up. And it was a beautiful, clear sky. Now, this is after a couple days of kind of cloudy skies.
Yeah.
The sky, the stars, we could see the Milky Way. It was so crystal clear. It was beautiful. And so once Leo was done and we came back inside, I had to go in and wake up Scott.
Yeah.
I
I normally do not like being woken up.
I was like, you got to come out and see it because it was beautiful.
Yeah.
With the naked eye.
It really was. We tried to get some photos of it. Didn't work. I tried to research the night after that of how to do it on the GoPro and do a time lapse, and I did all of that, and that didn't work either.
No.
So if you got some help, if you know how to get time lapse of stars with your GoPro, leave a comment for me or go to Reimer on the Road on Instagram and let us know, because we're going to hit some other places where we can see that. But Voyageurs was beautiful. The Milky Way, I don't know that I've ever seen the Milky Way with the naked eye.
Yeah.
We also think we saw a little bit of the Northern Lights.
I think we did. It was definitely a green hue on the horizon in the right direction. So I am going to say we did.
You're going to chalk it up as we saw it.
Yes.
It wasn't moving as much as I thought it might be, but I don't disagree with you, because there's nowhere that the light would have been coming from.
There was nothing else. That's right.
Because there's no cities near us. Let's talk about the campground, because I think that was also a highlight. We've enjoyed all the campgrounds we've been at. They all have their pros and cons. This one I thought was truly a little bit more unique for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was the Pines at Cabotogana Lake, and it has an upper level to it, which is what we reserved, which is I think is a little bit more expensive, but we reserved that, and it does have a little bit of a grade to get up to it. It's not that big of a deal. Don't be scared off by that. But it offered views of the lake Cabotogana, but also it just overlooked the area. I thought it was a really nice view for our campground. It was,
and it was the drive up. I think they said it was 11% grade. Yep. But it was fine. Scott rocked it pulling Aly, and yes, that overlook was beautiful. We had sort of a side view of the lake, but we overlooked the rest of the property, and it almost looked like you were up there by yourself, because you couldn't see the stuff that was below you. Had nice large sites, had a huge area behind the rig, so it was perfect. The owners, super nice. All the workers we came across, super nice and helpful. We did the boat tour through them. And of course, the national park does have boat tours as well, but this one just gave us the bang. It was like a 1 day, 6-7 hours, knocked out all the big areas and got it done fast, whereas the national park ferries are a little slower.
I'm going to give a plug to the Pines at Cabotogana. I don't think you have to stay there to do the boat. I don't think so, no. Tour. Nothing against the National Park Service. That boat looked fun. It wasn't a huge boat, so it was probably 30 people on it. Much slower moving, and it takes you longer and makes the day longer. But that's not even really the reason I wouldn't necessarily do that. I just liked our tour guide. He was the owner of the campground. He had great stories. It was a pontoon. It was a tri-tune boat, so we could move down the water when we needed to move down the water, and we could slow down and look at the eagles when we needed to slow down and look at the eagles.
That's right. And it was dog friendly. Now, we chose not to bring Leo, but it was dog friendly. So for those, whereas the national park ones are not. So anybody who's traveling with a dog, they were more than happy to have the dog on there. But we decided to leave Leo at home so we could just really focus on the tour. And they actually had someone at the campground who came by several times. I think Leo was spoiled while we were gone. So that was a big plus as well.
Also a big plus to the private tour. By the way, I don't think it was that much different in price. Maybe a little bit more, but not tremendously more. But you can do your own research on that. But one of the great things about the private part of the tour was we could bring any food and drinks we wanted to, including alcohol if you wanted to do that. But food, water, alcohol, and you could put it on the boat with you, which was really nice.
And the national parks, I think they allow you water.
Okay, on the boat tour itself, there really at Voyageurs aren't very many attractions to go to on the boat. I mean, the lake is the attraction, right? But there are a few lakes, plural, thank you. There are a few places where you stop. There's Ellsworth, Rock Garden, Kettle Falls is probably the most popular, the most known.
Which you have to use a boat to get to.
Which is part of the charm of it.
Right.
Your thoughts on the boat tour, what your highlight of it was? We had lunch over at Kettle Falls. To me, that was a pretty cool experience, but I wanted to know yours.
You know, I really liked all of them. I honestly, I think the rock gardens were unique.
Very different.
And different. And I also liked, the I.W. Stevens Island.
Yeah.
And just showed where this gentleman lived and
which is crazy.
Like year round there, and it had his cabin and his outhouse and all that kind of stuff, and it was his ice house. So it was kind of neat to see how someone actually lived in this in the wilderness.
I also thought in Kettle Falls, a little bar area where it was sloped over the Tilton Hilton, I think.
And
is
you
what
can
they
actually
call it.
stay
Yes.
in Kettle Falls. I mean, it's a small inn as well, not very big, and I don't know that I would want to stay there. It was good just visiting.
Yeah, good to get in and good to get out. But again, the only way you can get in is by boat on that. Okay, so that's a wrap on episode 18, Reimer on the Road. You're
On
ahead of
Instagram.
everything, right?
That's right. Yes. Check me out. Check us out.
Yeah, we're also getting feedback on Reimer on the Road as we move forward. So continue to give Ann the feedback on the Instagram page. Of course, your comments here are always appreciated. We look forward to sharing Theodore Roosevelt National Park here in North Dakota in episode 19. And we continue to hopefully not have some of the hiccups that we had previously to get here, but that's traveling. That's when you have a house and you're going down the interstate, things are going to happen. So we survived it, and hopefully we can continue to have a great time, and we love sharing all of this with you. So that's episode 18 in the books. And Scott, it's Reimer on the Road. Do it today.